Alright, here we are on the organizations page. We just wanted to show you a little bit about setting up your initial organization for some default settings for your shows that you're going to be having. So on the organization tab over here, you'll see this menu up here. So these are just some different things that you can set up. So your default show settings, if you predominantly do NCHA weekend shows, you can leave that set there. Or if you mainly do, custom shows or aged events, you can select that, and every time you set up a show it'll automatically default to that setting, but you can still change it when you do that. Maximum entries per set, if you want to have a default, you generally don't have more than 18 per set. Let's say 80% of your classes use 2.5 cows, you can enter that there. And then if you do have any extra classes that you offer, you can add those here, and they'll appear in the drop down menu when you go to set up your classes. The default class fees, these are just some general fees that you can set up that'll apply to your entry fees. So every entry that you set up in a class will have these charges automatically applied to it. They're great for kind of creating a shortcut there for your cattle charge, office, video, and NCHA championship fee. If you don't want to put any of those in there, you can either leave them blank, you can delete them, you can add, some people, some shows will go ahead and add the $2 equinal fee on here, so you can add that in there and it'll appear on all the entries. Once you're done setting this up, you can click save down the bottom here, and that's going to save the settings. So next time you come back there, you'll see it all in the proper dollar format. The show fees, this is where you can set up additional fees associated to your show that'll be charged at checkout or in the practice pen, that sort of thing. One thing to remember, the first 5 charges that you set up here, and you can set up as many as you want, the first 5 are going to appear as automatic shortcuts on your charges page. So later on when you go to your charges section and you go to add fees, down here you're going to notice that these 5 tabs right here are the first 5 that we set up. So flag, cattle, stall, shavings, membership. If we go back to organization now, go to the show fees, you'll see flag, cattle, stall, shavings, and membership. And so that's just a quick shortcut. Now you can add more in there if you want to add in turnback fee, whatever, and you don't have to put a charge with it. You can just put it in there as an item. Then you can apply that to apply the amount or adjust the amount for every class you want to set up. Next, we've got the membership section. So this is if clubs or organizations want to track their own members. It does not track the parent organization members such as NCHA or WCHA or USCHA, whatever. This is strictly just for your affiliate, your club, your show. So that's where you can track those individual memberships there if you'd like to do that. Next, we have the printout section. So over here, this is where you can add your graphics. This goes on all the announcer sheets, draw sheets, settlement sheets, all those sheets, extra sheets. They'll have logos on there and some secretary information. So you want to set up your show logo. You can do that here. Go to the file on your computer where you have that logo, and you can go ahead and add that in there. That can be a JPEG, it can be a PNG, whatever. Just not a PDF. And horizontal logos like this one tend to look better and they fit better on the sheet. You'll see in a minute, but they'll be at the top left. Then on the bottom of every sheet, you've also got the option to add another banner, and this can be a single banner for another show or a main sponsor or something. It allows you to also add multiple logos as one graphic, so it's a great way to generate some revenue for your show. You can sell sponsorships here and tell your sponsors, hey, for X amount this year, you're going to have your logo on every settlement sheet, every draw sheet, etc. at the show, and it's a great way to get some extra exposure. You can put in, like I said, the single logos. You can put in, the NCHA circuit program logo, or NCHA, if you want to put your circuit logo in there, you can do that. Or if you want to sell multiple sponsorships, you can do that as well. So let's just add this one to show you. So here is a way that you can sell, here's four sponsors listed on here. That helps you generate revenue, and you can see how it displays on the printout here in just a little bit. Settlement secretary contact info. So this goes on the bottom of every settlement sheet, and what that is somebody says, oh yeah, I've got to mail you a check, or they need to get a hold of you, or they have a question about their settlement when they get home. this is all your contact information there. So that's a great way to keep that on there, and you can adjust that per show or per affiliate or per organization depending on how many you have access to. And so once that's all set up, this is how it will look on the announcer sheets or draw sheets. Next up, we have the check printing section. So this is if you print electronic checks at your show. These are the normal business checks. You can adjust your settings here to suit your printer. Once you've set this up for the printer, if it's the same printer you always use, you won't have to do this again. If you end up using a different printer or change out printers, then you can adjust those settings here. And that's kind of a one-time setup for each printer. The billing info, each organization or affiliate will have to have a credit card on file with us to be able to set up future shows or to be able to run a show. This is billed out at $2 per entry, and that's a flat fee, no extra charges, and it only applies to the main entries. So it doesn't count for senior world tours or anything like that, novices, geldings, whatever. It just applies to the main entry. And what you can do, you put your credit card information here. If you have access to multiple organizations, you can change those out for each association or organization that you run. And then we bill out every Thursday after the show. So that gives you 4 or 5 days to go ahead and kind of get all your results in order and go ahead and run some checks through the bank, that sort of thing, so that you're not, all of a sudden getting hit with a charge that you haven't banked checks for yet. So with your organization, you have your login for this organization. We can also create other logins for if you've got people helping you in the office or in the practice pen or announcers that need to enter scores. We can assign logins for those people that have limited access and they only have access to those certain areas. So somebody running your practice pen, they'll get a login, but all they can access is the charges section where they can add in, practice pens, stalls, flags, things like that. Your announcer can also have a login, and that'll give him access to be able to do the scoring through the software, but it does not give him access to any of the other sections such as checkouts or charges or anything like that. So he's just going to have access to the main draws and be able to do the scores from the live scoring side of things. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions on anything, and we'll be happy to help you get set up or explain any of this that we've just talked about here.